Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sunny, and yes, this is a Manifest with Sunny channel where we talk about spirituality, where we talk about art and design, along with manifestation and mindset practices. However, I kind of want to change things up, and I really want to film videos that align with my flow. So if you're here for psychology, or if you're here to learn more about life or learn more about this video, how you do not want to get scammed, how to not get scammed, this channel is for you. In some other future videos, I am going to be talking about limerence and, some other like attachment styles and things like that. I come from a very trauma-informed background. But I really wanted to share this today because I almost got scammed the other day. And I'm not ashamed to admit that because I saw the signs before it happened. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I shouldn't say before it happened. I meant before it went any further. And I really sometimes I choose to explore the signs to see new practices. Sometimes I just don't. Honestly, I'm like, I don't have the time in my day for this shit right now, so I'm not going to explore it. But I want to take this opportunity to share with you and how not to get scammed or to see, potential scams or fraud alerts and be aware of those. And you'll want to share this video with your friends and your family, especially with AI and deep fakes really being a thing right now. I was in the graphic and web design industry, or sorry, the tech and software industry for a really long time as a graphic and web designer. And while I worked in that industry, in those industries through marketing or UI, UX design and designing software, there were so many things that I picked up on, and some definitely were how people like to scam others, whether it's, shady type of marketing or whether things really do seem fake. They just, all that happens is they receive your money and you do not receive anything out of it. So let's talk about it, talk about how not to get scammed. And I want to give you a few examples in this video. So I'm going to take you through those right now. All right. So in this example, I'm going to show you how things can really appear a certain way. They sound good. Like, for example, this video comes with meditation or comforting music in the background, and they talk about building a life that is worth living. The scenes really show wealth and luxury, and to me, this would talk about a potential investment or maybe a vacation. But with the way that this video was set up, it allowed me to believe that this was a potential investment. Now, where things got really interesting is in the video, they began talking about how we don't want your credit card info. We're not selling you anything. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, let's figure this out. Let's see what this is, right? Um, so you can see that the link goes to a place called like Kinadagi World, right? Like this is potentially interesting. Haven't heard of a website like that before. I'm trying to highlight things for you guys, but it's not working right now. I don't know why. So Kinadagi.world. One of the first things we want to do is Google that, see if it comes up, right? For me, I was curious, and you may not want to do this, but I actually clicked the link. I was like, you know what? This is coming straight from YouTube. If somebody is going to try and scam me, it is going to be beyond that point. It's not going to be necessarily from here. YouTube's pretty good about catching stuff like that. So if we go to this link right here, where does that take us? Also, I want to point out this very funny thing, total coincidence, or maybe not. I'm watching a video called Why Do Evil People Prosper? A 2,000-year-old Zohar secret. So, and then this ad showed up, which I found very hilarious. So, when we look at where that, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen right now and share a different page here. So there we go. Okay, so this is the page, and you can see up at the top, it takes you to kinadoggy.world. But what it doesn't show you is all this crazy stuff in the link. And that's something I want you to pay attention to because typically, okay, for example, if you were visiting the Abundant Bitch website, you wanted to buy some art or merch from my shop, or you wanted to see some of the offerings that we have, whether it's business coaching or, any of the offerings, workshops, classes, you would see that the website is abundantbitch.com. And I'll show you the difference here. Abundantbitch.com. This is our website. Now, if you were to go to the shop, the link is fairly straightforward. /shop, abundantbitch.com/shop. You can see it right there. There are no additional numbers or markers. The link isn't super, super long. And this is the same thing that happens when you click any of the links, right? So that's a cute photo. Hey, that's me. I'm eating strawberries as a kid. Anywho, so when you click art and merch shop, even when it's not typed in, you're going to notice that it automatically says abundantbitch.com/shop. Okay. Also, I feel like I'm yelling at you guys. I don't mean to yell. Anywho, so when we visit this link, let's take a look at some red flags that you're going to want to take a look at. So, number one red flag, of course, because I'm a Canadian, this ad was specifically targeted to Canadians. And what they don't know about me is that I actually don't go to CBC, I don't watch the news. Nevertheless, they marketed to me. Now, something you want to notice right away is the fact that all of this is blurry. Even if we zoom in, you can tell that this is significantly blurrier compared to the rest of the text. Okay, so this is likely an image, and I bet you the whole thing links to something. Now, let's just for shits and giggles click politics. Doesn't go anywhere. World. Ah, look at that. It takes you down there to their form that they want you to fill out. Okay. Let's try news. Top stories. Top stories. Okay. So this whole image is not real. That drop down doesn't work. Sign in, that doesn't work. Search, it all goes back down to the form, which is what they want you to fill out. So these are a couple of the red flags you want to notice. The first and foremost, like up front in your face, if something is blurry, a logo, a top bar like this, that shouldn't be blurry and the rest of the website is clear and crisp as day, you're not going to want to move further. It's a red flag. Now, when we read some of this article here, a new project called Token Tact is now available to Canadian citizens, offering a potentially beneficial opportunity to generate income up to $30,000 per month. Now, we see this picture with Mark Carney. Of course, he was just elected Prime Minister of Canada. And so the thing that they are trying to do here is they are trying to convince you that this is something that Mark Carney, what would be the word I'm looking for? Endorses, I suppose, or stands by. So when we click that, of course, all goes down to the same form. Now, something I want you guys to keep in mind, when I was in the graphic and web design industry, I want you to just know how easy it is to create an image like this. It is so bloody easy. You can actually do it in Canva. You don't need Photoshop anymore. You can take a background out of whatever background this was. Maybe he was visiting Trump at the White House. I have no idea. And the whole background got deleted, including Trump, I guess, or maybe this photo was taken likely not in nature because it looks like their studio lighting. Maybe this is the podium conversation that they were having. Maybe it's photos of other parliament members. I'm not sure. But all of that can be taken out very easily with the background tool within Canva. It is so easy to do. I'm happy to show you how to do that if you're interested. Maybe we'll save that for another video. But obviously here, even the social media links, right? These are blurry. Again, this is so epically easy to recreate. So, one of the other ways that it can be a little tricky to see some things, right? Like these are not an image. This was actually typed out and put into the web page, and you can highlight it. That's one of the ways that you can tell. It's not an image, right? Even this, these stats, surprisingly, not an image. This was coded. If something's an image, you're going to notice it's blurry and it looks like you can click the words, but you can't really. Okay? You can't really highlight them. See how I can take this whole image and it's kind of floating around? That's because it's likely a JPEG. If we inspect element, go into here. Now we're getting into a little bit of code, which I'm not going to share too much with you guys because this can really go over someone's head. So we can clearly see that this is a .png right here, and that is an image. Let's do a fun check just with the CBC News. So we can see that that is a JPEG within the inspect element, within the gosh, my words today, within the code. Within the code, it is very clearly a JPEG that somebody has created. And right here, it tells you that it goes to the form. All right. So these are some of the easier ways to see potential scams or potential fraudulent alerts. And I want to explore some tools that you can have by your side that aren't so well known. So second red flag that I want to point out here, well, maybe the top menu was the first red flag. The second was actually Mark Carney right here. So the third red flag is income of Canadians who registered 2 months ago. This whole graph, okay? First of all, any well-known company, agency, we have privacy policies. Abundant Bitch has privacy policies in place within all of our any work that we do with our clients. Okay. If you go down to a website, you will see that there are store policies, there's also terms and conditions, privacy policies. These contain information, and I just want to phrase this for the sake of this video. We're currently redesigning the website. So you may not see terms and conditions that are updated on the website quite yet, or an actual privacy policies that everything is connected to kind of this store policies button at the moment. Okay. This will be fixed. This will be figured out in case you're visiting the website. But normally we have terms and conditions and privacy policy. Let's go to another website and explore that. Okay. Which website can we go to? Let's go to Etsy. Etsy will have at the very bottom, they have privacy policies. Okay. And there's different privacy policies for different countries. So for some websites, they will show up as a PDF, and for other websites, it'll be directly on the website. But I want you to know that with most integral and ethical businesses, small businesses, large corporations, doesn't matter, all across the board, they will put their privacy policies in front of your face. And they will not go, well, I can't speak for all of them, but we do not go against those privacy policies. Meaning, if I work with clients who do not want their last names shared, why I'm sharing this right now in kind of a long form context, because I want you to understand that this is not normal. This is a red flag. This is a red flag. People who win millions of dollars through the lottery can have their last name revoked from any publications. They can probably even ask for their name to be changed so they cannot be looked up. So to talk about the income that these individuals are making just from this thing called token tact, this sparks a red flag automatically because I would never share my client's information publicly without consent. And in the ways that we do share public, private information from our clients, it's really not so private. They've written testimonials or they've allowed us to share reviews. You'll notice we even have a reviews tab right here with success stories. You can even submit your success story right here. So that is how we choose to do things. You know, you can scroll down, you can kind of see what people are saying about us. When it comes to something like this, in no way, shape, or form is it ethical. I'm not even sure if it's legal to share people's first names, let alone their photos, and to see how much money they've made using a specific tactic without their consent. So there are so many tools that you can use. One of them I will share with you in this video. I do want to just quickly finish up this page, but I do want to share how to do a reverse photo lookup, right? See who these people actually are because this might not be Michelle. This might be some lady named Stephanie or Karen or Jodan and she may not even be Canadian. She may be Italian or this could be AI generated. We don't know. So I'll teach you how to check out. And this is honestly a bit of a nerdy video because of course, I do not want you to get scammed. I do not want you to fall into the trap of others or the arms of others that do not have the best at heart for you. And it's nerdy in the sense where I have so many tools that I'm happy to provide you with to help you kind of understand and use these tools whenever things feel a little fishy or suspicious. And the first inkling is always your intuition. Okay, this is something I will teach my students within all of my transformational personal and business coaching is go with your gut, go with your intuition. Your intuition is number one. Somebody who is lying to you or somebody who is presenting something that, seems like a good opportunity, but maybe there's a hesitation, or maybe there's something happening in your intuition that doesn't sit quite right with you. Okay. If that happens, do your research. And I'm going to teach you how to do that research. So let's get through this page and then we'll go a little bit further. So, red flag number three, obviously, people's first names, photos, last names, and how much money they've made. Without express consent, I cannot see how this could be ethical. Now, use our profit calculator to predict how much you can earn from the project. I want you to know how easy this is to code. How easy this is for any developer, anybody who knows anything about web developing to code onto a website. And in many cases, you do not need um, you do not need to know code in order to be able to create something like this. Okay. So one of the tools before we finish off the page, because this is definitely not one I want to forget, is the link is long and crazy, right? But if we take everything out of the link, all this nonsense, and we just have Kinadoggy World, okay? I want to open up another tab and just quickly give that a search. See, it still copied the whole link, which is so interesting, kind of bizarre. Maybe that was a glitch, maybe it was an issue on my end. So what we're going to do, what we're going to do is delete that whole thing and search up the website. So it still comes up as this reader. So what we're going to do now is remove the HTTPS and see what comes up. Okay, still the website. Now we're going to remove the dot, create a space, and ask for Google or whatever search engine you're using to search what this is. Okay. First, scam detector. Perfect. Love a good scam detector. The scam detector's algorithm gives this business the following rank of 6.1 out of 100, which is crazy, which is crazy. So that's a red flag already. There are even websites that will share specific information like this with you. So they'll talk about the owner, they'll talk about the server name, the contract, where the website is actually based out of. This is where the nerdy part of me kicks in a little bit. So we can see here, right? What is Kinadoggy.world? Company review. Domain blacklist status. It's currently not detected. Domain creation date. Look at this. This was created Monday, May 12th, 2025 at 7:15 a.m. I don't know about you, but that seems suspicious. Our website, abundantbitch.com, that domain name is fairly new. We created it recently. However, we are going through a rebranding process. As you can see, it says Emerging Reiki right here. Our company was previously called Emerging Reiki Coaching, and you can even see that in the link below in this image. It says Emerging Reiki Coaching, Client Experiences, Abundant Bitch at abundantbitch.com. So we've had emergingreiki.com for several years, okay? 6 years, if I'm not mistaken, probably more. So that's a red flag right away. Proximity to suspicious websites, they scored 59 out of 100. Phishing score, 23 out of 100. They do have a valid HTTPS. And on another scoring website, I did see that their SSL certificate is valid and secure, which is interesting. Spam score, 60 out of 100. Malware, 10 out of 100. So the Quinadoggy.world business is associated with a popular web and app development industry, but it's just a facade. We try to extract some content from the website to see what they say about themselves. Here's the conclusion. The website provides a comprehensive overview of PHP development tools, highlighting PHP is a form of, it's a developing tool. So some like a code to create a website for those of you who don't know. It covers various aspects of software development, including custom software solutions, web and app development, and design services. Additionally, it offers insights into different programming languages. See, it's interesting that it's picking all of this up where clearly the website doesn't talk anything about that. I can't find a link for that. So now when we look, domain name, less than a month, organization, Super Privacy Service Ltd. Not super specific. They're owned in California. Huh. Interesting that they would be marketing using fake CBC ads to Canadians. I find that interesting. They do have a phone number. Email has been redacted for privacy. That's interesting. The name of the owner has been redacted for privacy. And I'm just taking a look at, so their SSL certificate, which is valid until August 10th. Yeah, I think that's August 10th. Yeah. So it's basically the same information over and over again. Now, there are a few other websites that are really great at detecting scam and verification. So we can paste the link in here. I'm not a robot. I haven't checked this website to see if this is a website is a scam. But anyway, so final verdict, potentially safe, um, low traffic volume, right? So they're marketing to a specific demographic. They're marketing to Canadians for sure, and potentially any Canadians that have been looking forward to investing. Because if we look at what they have been offering just through this website, it's something called token tact. Okay. So we're going to look that up. We're going to look that up. Is it legit or a scam? Let's go into here. Talks about fully automated trading, educational resources available. Okay, that's great. But why would we choose to invest through a website called Kinadagi if really the cryptocurrency is token tagged? Although this is very suspicious. It could be an error, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is suspicious. Looks like they've been featured on quite a few websites. The code could just be broken there, so that could be another potential. So that's one verification. Token tagged reviews. Is it a scam? 9.3 out of 100. So same website, giving a little bit more insight into that and different information. So these are the types of tools that you have accessible to you to look up if a company is legit or not, is simply Googling what they're talking about so we can see. And I'm not going to click this link. Okay, you guys, I am not clicking this link. I have no idea where it goes, although I could probably check the inspect element to see where this goes. They do talk about it and this being an online trading platform, right? So I'm not sure if this is just shady marketing or if this really links to a scam. Um, so something else to be aware of is forms like this. You're not going to want to fill this form out. You're not going to want to put your information in there. At the very least, they could sell your information to third-party companies and organizations. There's rumors that Indeed has been doing this, unfortunately, with people who are applying for job. Now, this is allegedly. I don't have proper information on that or valid information on that, but what I do have is allegedly this is what's happening in the world is they'll take your information and at the very least they will sell it to other companies and organizations. So if you receive a lot of spam calls or if you receive a lot of spam emails or there's just tons of nonsense in your email, this would be why your information was sold to third-party agencies. And it's a hot market. Apparently, these organizations make a lot of money, the ones who get your information and sell it. So it could be the intention behind this business here. I also want to point out how easy it is to create an image like this, right? Mark Carney, there's a little bit of a shadow and he's not actually at this token tagged event and the lighting is different and he's also in the same clothes that he is up here minus the tie. So and he's more relaxed, right? So we want to take these kind of things into account and really think about things before we sign up, okay? Another red flag specifically on this website is they've got a comment section. Now, this really does look like it could be from Facebook, okay? So, one of the ways I would like to test this and have tested it before I decided to film this video is let's say we want to reply to this comment by Kate Moore, okay? Reply. It goes straight to the form. Straight to the form, okay? Doesn't matter where I hit reply. I might even click somebody's name. It all goes to the form. And that's how we know that something's a scam. This logo down here, while it isn't blurry, I want to take you guys just for a second to cbc.ca. Okay. I do not visit this website ever, ever, but I'm banking on the fact that in their footer, they have a lot more information. They will have, 2025 CBC Radio Canada, all rights reserved. They'll have potentially even a different logo. So these are all tips and tools that you can check out to see if a website is legit or not. So this was your first example. I want to go in and just share a second example with you guys. Like, this one was crazy because it affected me personally, and I was like, okay, what do I do here? Okay, so all right, so very, very clear here. You can see that, I mean, I share stories every single day almost. So typically the one where the stories are being shared is the real one. You can also see that I've updated my profile photos. So, a lot of these are using an older profile photo. And I have gone ahead and reported these as, you know, presenting themselves as me or my company, my business. And so, some things you're going to want to look out for if any of these, first of all, if I out of the blue, if a large corporation, if somebody very influential out of the blue appears to be following you or your account. Now, I'm not saying this can't happen. What I am saying is just look out for the dots or the numbers or the weird kind of names in their handles. And of course, I recently just watched Fanatical, which is the it's on Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus, it's a documentary about Tegan and Sarah and how for the last 16 years an individual or multiple individuals have been pretending to be Tegan across the world and have, had relationships with fans for 2 years and like just crazy stuff. So I want you to be mindful and just see who you're speaking to because on occasion, for sure, I see, artists online, and if you ever receive a message from me that's like, "Hey, I love your art" or whatever, that's probably me. But double check that it's coming from Abundant Bitch, the handle, again, ABUNDANT BETCH. No dots, no double D's or N double D's. Oh my God. Or N's or A's, no double letters that are beside each other, no underscores, nothing like that. And you can even see that they have Manifest with ADHD, which was my older um, profile information. So they have almost everything correct. And no doubt, I think that some of these people have connected with other people. And before I reported these accounts, some of them were stealing my reels and TikToks and reposting them. They were also stealing photos or carousels. Some of them even had pictures of my dog. So, there is no length to which these people will not go. Sometimes people take things very far, and sometimes they don't. You know, Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. So I really want you to be careful. I know this is a bit of a longer video, but I promise I'll come up with some summary notes for all of you ADHDers out there who just want um, a little bit of the just summarized version, okay? Um, Something else I wanted to point out, which is beyond me why somebody would want to do this. Some of these accounts literally had their link going to my website. So like I'm not sure what the point of that is. None of these accounts are me. If I had this many fake accounts, I can't manage this many accounts, honestly. Um, And yes, we have an account for our dog, and my partner has her account, and all of these things. But like in my ADHD brain, I cannot fathom even thinking about managing more than like two accounts. I have a mugs account that I haven't been on in over 2 years, probably, because I'm a huge fan of mugs, not mug shots, mugs, like the ones that you hold and drink out of. Um, and so that's something I want you to be aware of as well. I'm not sure what that tactic was for, it really was leading to my website. So in a sense, thank you for the free marketing, I suppose. And for all the ADHDers, I do want to summarize quickly here, and probably in the editing process, I'll put this somewhere in the beginning so you can also see this part. Use your intuition. If something feels off or something feels a little bit sketchy, it might be. Take a look, Google around. Some of the signs that you can automatically see and notice is blurry images and logos. If all the links on the page are seeming to try clicking on the photos, okay? See where those lead because that will likely give you a lot of information. As we saw in that fake CBC scam page report Quinadoggy website, you can see that all of those things are leading to the form. Now, something that I just remembered that I wanted to share with you guys is being able to, this is another nerdy tip. I know this video is getting a little long, but if you can hang on for a moment, you can, I don't know why I feel like that one act. You can hang on for a moment. That was terrible. That was terrible. I can do a lot of accents and that just was not it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys and something else that Quinadoggy website had is obviously these photos, these pictures, and that's a red flag for me. So I'm gonna copy the image here and I'm gonna go reverse image search. All right, search reverse image AI search. I didn't know they have that now. Wow. Oh, I have to actually save the image. In some of these places you can post the link, but for shits and giggles, we are going to save that image. I'm gonna go into downloads, pop that in, and see what comes up. And this is always fascinating to me because they'll show, people that look like this person, people that are this person, other pictures of this person. So we can see that, this picture is the same, I would say, or very similar if my judgment is wrong. Also, this appears to be the same person as well. So if we go to any of these websites, oh, of course, you got to pay to go to the websites. But we can see automatically that, you know, some of I have a Russian Ukrainian background, so this страница, some of these could be names. I mean, this is definitely not her name. Oleg is a man's name, but, or, this is Marina, or sorry, Maria. Maria. And so, or Ekaterina, although this is a different person, I think, entirely, potentially. There are multiple reverse image website searches. We can take the .com off and just make sure it's a search. Why is this not working for me today? Sometimes technology is the best and sometimes it's the worst. Am I right? All right, so looks like there aren't any images matching your topic. I may have done that wrong. I haven't used the Google image reverse search in a long time. Um, Enter image URL. So here we go. I can also upload the image. Let's see what this website comes through with. So yeah, the summary, I'll quickly go through the summary while this is processing is we've already talked about the blurry images. Look right here. This was taken off of LinkedIn, likely, and somebody could be named Yasmin Saeed. So these obviously, this face is being used, or here we go, another LinkedIn India, Sarah Walker. So this face seems like it's used in a lot of fake marketing, scam marketing. There's no way that there are this many people that look exactly like this woman. I wouldn't be surprised if this was an AI generated image. So, one other technique to help you figure things out if something feels sketchy or suspicious, you know, I'm going to get back into the summary now. So, images, blurry images, know that any images can be photoshopped. It's so easy if you have that skill set. Also, Canva makes things really, really easy nowadays. If the page is giving you red flags, like sharing people's personal information, in some cases with consent, like for example, you'll see on my website, some clients have made, $10,000 per month being in our programs or offerings after graduating. These kinds of things I am allowed to share because they gave me consent. I have a photo and I have their pronouns and their first name and either their last name or the first letter of their last name, depending on what they choose. So, there are websites that really are the real deal. They're doing great work. The companies or the people, individuals, wellness industries, whatever industry, you're looking at, there are people out there that are good people. I'm not doing this video to scare you guys. This video, I don't want to say like protecting you, but in a sense, because I had realized the reason I created this video is I had realized I have a lot of knowledge about this stuff and it's just sitting on the back burner in my mind and even I have been scammed before, you guys, okay? So it has happened and recently with deep fakes and all of these things, even Allison Stoner coming forward and talking about how her videos have been deep faked before, as well as a lot of other celebrities or famous people or well-known people in the entertainment industry or other industries. And even having friends come up to me who have no idea about any of this stuff because they were not in the tech and software industry. I really wanted to shine light on what is possible and how there really are some people, not all people, but some people that are out here to, I don't want to say take advantage, but that's how they make their living. They're con artists or, I'm picturing somebody pickpocketing or, just the people that it's very easy nowadays to create a website, set it up with some links, and typically one of the red flags is like if there are no real other links on the website, if you can't contact the company or there's no about information or sometimes I'll give the companies a benefit of the doubt, like if they are new and those pages don't have a lot of information yet, but doing a quick search and just seeing, being able to see, okay, let's say there's a website that has an offering or a service you're interested in, go to the about page. Maybe there's not a lot of information, but there's still photos of people and their names. Look them up on LinkedIn, see what they're up to, message them on Instagram, being like, hey, just checking if you're affiliated. This is also really great practice to use with people who, if you're in the coaching industry, guiding industry, if you are front facing, you're on YouTube, there are going to be a lot of people that email you to collab. I have so many DMs, both on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, actually. I also have tons of emails that come through my way asking me to collab with their company. They will send me free product, yada, yada, yada. I'm not the type of person to collaborate with everybody. I look into their ethics, who they are, all of that. So you will see that across this channel. I have not collaborated with anybody yet. I have not decided to be like, hey, I'm going to sell this product because I believe in it, other than the products and services that I've created, because maybe there's something shady, or maybe I don't believe in that product enough, or it's not something I use in my daily life. For example, if you are a medicinal mushroom company, not hallucinogenic ones, we're talking chaga, lion's mane, and maybe your harmonic arts. I use those products on a daily. I've been using them since 2017. If you're Harmonic Arts and you're hearing this message and you want to sponsor any of my videos, 1,000%. I stand by your products. I've used your products for many, many years. This is not an ad. And so that's just the difference for you guys. Just talking a little bit more about how far these scams and these things can take place, whether it's collaborations or things and images. Beware of deep fakes. Biggest telltale, I still don't know how to say that, sign, especially if you are on TikTok. Again, I realize this video is getting a little bit longer. Last thing I will mention to you is, if it seems like the person is sitting there, but the mouth is not really moving, or it's moving weird, or it appears to be a real photo of somebody you might know, but the mouth is moving weird, it is likely a deep fake. I have seen celebrities, and so I'm going to do this because it's their deep fakes of celebrities endorsing specific products online. Now, they are likely going to file lawsuits and things like that, but it's very clear and you can tell because, could be the way their eyes move, if they move a little strangely, or if the mouth is not moving to the audio. You can even see like a little cutout usually on the deep fake, and it moves so weird. Um, so yeah, these are some of my experiences. I wanted to share these with you. Bless you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Check out our website. If you have any questions about what I've talked about today, message me on Instagram at abundantbitch, bitch with an E. I'm always happy to answer questions. I don't know how in depth I'll be able to go because I do receive tons and tons of messages. But yeah, if you've been affected by scams before, or if you have any other tips and tricks that you're willing to offer for others in the community for support, pop them down in the comments below. And of course, subscribe and give me a follow for more educational videos like this one. Bye.